I'm Lucy Vincent, 7-figure coach and agency owner, and today I'm going to be talking about a controversial topic: social media manager or virtual assistant. Which one do I think is better and why? And so there is something to be said for both. And I want to start this off by saying I know extremely successful virtual assistant agencies, and I know extremely successful marketing agencies. There is no one size fits all. However, I believe wholeheartedly that social media management is the better way to go because, one, as a social media manager, you can set retainers rather than having to stick to hourly pricing, which typically all virtual assistants are. I'm gonna pay you for 10 hours and you need to use all 10 hours. Whereas for a social media management package, I could charge you $2,500 a month to manage your social media marketing. And if that takes me 100 hours versus 30 hours, like, I'm gonna get paid the same. So I am incentivized to figure out how to do it as quickly as possible, deliver the best service possible, and I can really show up as an expert, and I am not trading time for money. So it's really important to me, as I was looking, like, hey, I don't want to have to work 40 hours. And what if I'm not making my income goals at 40 hours a week? Do I have to work 60 hours? Like, I did not want to be penalized for the better that I got at something and the less time that it took me to complete it. I didn't want to be penalized by making less money, which you will see a lot of times in hourly pricing. Also, as a social media manager, you can position yourself as an expert and therefore charge expert pricing. You are really good at one specific thing, and there's a lot of things under the umbrella of social media management, right? There's graphic design, copywriting, video editing, community management, there's strategy, reading analytics and data and all of that stuff. It gives you enough variety to still be enjoyable and not super monotonous, but also you can position yourself as an expert. And where I see most virtual assistants getting stuck is they're seen as a generalist, generally pretty good at a lot of different things. So one, I find that they are stuck for a lot longer in the learning curve. I have a virtual assistant on my team who I absolutely love. He is phenomenal, and my business could not run without him. But also, I'll be like, hey, can you create a data studio dashboard for our company? And then yeah, sure, I will do that. He's stuck in the learning cycle though, because then he's trying to figure it out from A to Z how to do it, rather than being able to excel and meet those 10,000 hours of what it's determined to become an expert at something as quickly as possible if you have a more limited focus, and also charge higher prices because you're seen as an expert rather than as a generalist. On the flip side, I do think it's a great way to get started potentially as a virtual assistant if you do not have a lot of experience as a social media manager, to showcase why you should be able to charge high ticket prices. There's two ways that you can get started, right? You can get started as a social media manager and offer services for less than what you want. So for maybe $1,000 a month, and then you're learning, and this is beta, and then you're testing and you're growing from there. Or you can get an hourly virtual assistant role and start taking on different social media aspects so you can build your portfolio that way. So there's no one size fits all. Personally, for me, I was like, I'm going all in on social because I want to be an expert. I don't want to be tied to time to how much I can earn. And I know that once I hit 40 hours, I'm not willing to work 80 hours to make my income goals. So that's how I started. However, I have seen people build really successful virtual assistant agencies. One of my good friends, Emily, she used to work as an executive assistant at Amazon. She launched her virtual assistant agency. And so what she was doing was she was hiring virtual assistants underneath her and managing those and making 50% of the hourly rate, right? So maybe she'd charge 40 and she'd pay her virtual assistant 20. So she wasn't capped just to the amount of hours that she had to work. So she was really successful with that. But personally, I have seen a lot more success in the industry as going all in as an expert in one thing, so you can hone in on what you need to learn and what you need to be an expert at, rather than constantly being in this learning cycle. And again, I have a virtual assistant on my team who is incredible. Our business could not run without him, and I'm so grateful for his support. At the same time, he's typically not involved in revenue generating activities for our business. So it's really difficult for him to be like, hey, I want to make more money. Hey, I want to raise, because I can't tie it to a return on investment. But he is taking things off of my plate that would take me a lot of time, so then I can focus on revenue generating activities. But as a social media manager, you are directly tied to revenue that a business is making, right? And even if it's difficult to attribute, right, what revenue is coming specifically from social, before you go to a restaurant, if you're anything like me, what do? First thing I do is I look at their social. I'm like, what do I want to eat? What does their food look like? What does their vibe look like? And then I'll walk in to the store, and I'm not going to tell them, oh yeah, I saw your social, but that was the deciding factor of whether I went to eat there or not. Before I go to the hair salon, what am I doing? I want to make sure, like, what's trending right now? Does this hair salon look good? Do I like their style? Does it seem like it's a good vibe? Like, I'm checking before making a purchasing decision on social media. And so it is a great way to say we are driving revenue rather than virtual assistant, which might be email management, calendar management, social media management, all of these different things under the sky. You never really know what's going to be thrown at you. And as somebody that loves learning, you might be thinking, oh, virtual assistant, like, that sounds really good because I love to learn. And same, girl, same. However, social's constantly evolving. Social is constantly changing. And so I know at least I have blinders on to focus on this one area, which is graphic design, video editing, content creation, copywriting, like all of these different things, but I have blinders on to not get stuck in shiny object syndrome where I just think I need to constantly be learning everything and be everything to everyone. So you can charge way higher prices when you are more specific about what you do with the solutions that you offer and who you help. Then I'm a virtual assistant that supports everyone with everything. So the winner for me personally is always going to be a social media manager over a virtual assistant. I would love to know your questions below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What's stopping you? What is holding you back? Let me know. I hope this was beneficial. I hope this was helpful, and I can't wait to talk to you soon.